On several occasions, the assault guards raided the cafe looking for armed revolutionaries. I passed myself off as a wife of one or other of the men. It was nerve-wracking. On one occasion, a young lad slipped me 2 bombs and a kind of flapjack. The guards searched everyone, but missed me.
While Ethel hid out in Catalonia trying to find a way to get home, she was becoming famous in her native land. The mystery of what had happened to the Scots girl anarchist was picked up by the press, and as a result, anxiety grew in Britain and abroad. There were rumours that she was in jail, that she was being tortured, that she was dead.
What's I say?
One night, at about 1 o'clock, there was a thunderous knocking at the door. Assault guards marched in and without a word of explanation, ransacked every corner and every cupboard. Eventually, they took me to the police station and left me there all night. The next morning, I was moved to the Hotel Falcon, which had become a prison for anarchist soldiers. They took me in a motor lorry that, for all the world, was like the tumbril of the French Revolution. They wanted me to sign some document, but I refused. My fingerprints were taken, and no charges were preferred against me.
The fate of volunteers missing in Spain attracted international criticism. In Spanish law, charges against prisoners must be laid within 30 days. In practice, they were locked up indefinitely. But the day finally arrived when the authorities decided to charge Ethel formally.
1. Found in possession of foreign money. 2. I was a fascist, because files in my possession had formerly belonged to a fascist. Actually, I'd found them in the C&T and merely made use of them. 3. Associating with prisoners and conspiring with them in a foreign tongue.
Now that she had been formally arrested, Fenner Brockway, a leading member of the British Labour Party, managed to have charges against her lifted.
Fenner Brockway es trasllada al que és la presó en aquells moments on estan concentrats 150 persones. Aquesta presó estava situada exactament aquí, aquí de davant, i era l'antiga seu del PUM al capdavall de la Rambla de Barcelona. Quan entra Fenner Brockway es queda absolutament astorat, perquè es troba amb 150 persones en una situació molt precària. Només hi ha un lavabo, només hi ha una pica per rentar-se les mans. A més, només els hi reparteixen 2 menjars que són sopa i un trosset de pa al dia. Hi ha moltíssima gent molt malalta, amb polls, en una situació absolutament desastrosa. I sobretot pels brigadistes internacionals, que aproximadament n'hi havia uns 30, i que no tenen cap suport de les famílies que hi havia a Barcelona.
Towards the French frontier, an endless procession of refugees winds on, driftwood on the seas of political passion, met by French guards who examine credentials and give out food.
Citizens escaping the fighting south and west of Barcelona were flooding through Catalonia to get to the safety of France. The Republican Guard checked their papers at the border, so Ethel needed a visa to leave the country.
The British consul told me that friends in Britain and America were preparing for my being allowed to leave the country. But I couldn't do that until I got a pass, and if I tried to get one, it would be an excuse for my arrest.
Ethel didn't leave the country immediately after her release. She felt there was still work for her to do in Barcelona, helping anarchist comrades escape. The Republican reporter now found herself working against the Republic's oppression.
Under the noses of the communist-controlled police, I helped anarchist comrades in and out of prison. Some soldiers managed to escape altogether, disguising themselves in clothes borrowed from civilians. We approached the crew of foreign ships to beg secret passage for wanted men and women in danger.
When these activities became known, the British press dubbed Ethel the Scot Scarlet Pimpernel. She managed to get a letter back to Aldred and Jenny, her anarchist travelling companion who had got out of Spain before the crackdown.
Dear Guy, I know you've been expecting to hear from me sooner than now.
I'm still here, but unable
I'm in hiding. I can't get a visa. If I apply, I'll be arrested. If I don't, I'll be arrested. I can only leave the country with the help of comrades. But most of the people I knew here left for their own countries, and sometimes it's pretty lonely. Conditions in prison were bad, but we kept up the struggle. We managed to persuade everyone in every prison to strike at a certain hour on a certain day. I used to collect packets of letters from the other prisoners and smuggle them out with my own, in the cans which were brought to us in prison. The cans, thanks to careful planning, always landed in the hands of the same man who knew what to do with them. Everything was cut and dried. Street plans were prepared, and everyone knew, if they escaped, exactly what to do and where to go. The letters and arrangements for those going abroad were handed to a French skipper.
I'm still here, but unable to leave the country legally.
I am a terrible sight. I have lost everything. I need your help and solidarity. Please do not fail me. Not that I am afraid, but I would be foolish if I didn't know the danger I am in.
Beyond the prisons, the Civil War itself was going badly. The Republic was losing ground to a far better organised rebel army. Britain, although still not taking sides, was increasingly worried about the safety of its nationals in Spain.
Barcelona becomes the storm centre, as General Franco's threat to bombard the city leads our government to take steps to ensure the safety of British citizens. That safety will now be provided by the formation of a neutral zone south of the harbour.
At the docks, I was questioned, but after a few minutes, they allowed me to pass. I was never so thankful in my life.
After almost a year, Ethel fled the country she had longed to help.
Truly, I should feel cheated if I was to leave Spain with nothing attempted and nothing done. I feel my future depends on making good here.
Into the little French town of Le Perthus on the Spanish border comes an unending stream. For days they have been trudging along rock-strewn tracks over the snow-capped Pyrenees.
Leaving Spain behind, Ethel embarked on a speaking tour. The French, surrounded by fascist states, Italy, Germany, and imminently Franco's Spain, were keen to hear what the anarchist journalist had to say.
A struggle is taking place in Spain that should have the assistance of all decent-minded men and women in every part of the world. But what do we find? There is no united action to assist the proletariat of Spain in their struggle. Instead, we have a united front of socialist and communist parties with capitalism.
It's a battle of a ragged band of raw recruits against a mechanized, highly trained army. Town after town falls to Franco with little resistance.
Our victory is sure because the Spanish proletariat have the will to conquer.
Refugees stream out before Franco is advanced.
From out of the fields of Andalusia and Asturias, fertilized by the blood of the heroic proletariat, will rise a new Spain of the proletariat. German planes, Italian planes bombed the city, and still Madrid held out. This was the Spanish Revolution, challenged into existence by insolent fascism.